Let's take a look at the management planning process. The basic management planning process consists of 5 steps. A plan shows a course of action for getting from where you are to a goal. Planning is always goal directed. In organizations, it's traditional to view the goals from the top of the firm down to frontline employees as a chain or hierarchy of goals. At the top, the president sets long-term or strategic goals. Vice presidents then set goals for their units that flow from the president's goal. Then their own subordinates set goals, and so on down the chain. Policies and procedures provide day-to-day guidance employees need to do their jobs in a manner that is consistent with the company's plans and goals. Policies set broad guidelines delineating how employees should act. Setting goals for the company usually starts at the top by formulating an overall strategic plan for the organization. A strategic plan is the company's overall plan for maintaining a competitive position. The strategic planner asks, where are we now as a business and where do we want to be? They then formulate a strategic plan to help guide the company to a desired endpoint. A strategy is a course of action. Strategic management is the process of identifying and executing the strategic plan. The strategic management process has 7 steps. They're shown here, starting with defining the current business all the way through evaluating performance. The strategic management process begins by asking, what business are we in? Specifically, what products do we sell? Where do we sell them? Or how do our products or services differ from our competitor? The second step is to ask, are we in the right business given our strengths and weaknesses and the challenges that we face? To answer this, managers audit or study the firm's environment and the firm's internal strengths and weaknesses. Next, based on this analysis, the task in step 3 is to decide what should our new business be in terms of what we sell, where we sell it, and how our products or services differ from competitors. A vision statement is a general statement of the firm's intended direction. It shows in broad terms what we want to become. Whereas the vision statement describes in broad terms what the business should be, the company's mission statement summarizes what the company's main tasks are today. In any case, the next step, step 4, is to translate the desired new direction into strategic goals. Next, step 5, the manager chooses strategies, courses of action that will enable the company to achieve its strategic goals. Step 6, strategy execution, means translating the strategies into action. This means actually hiring or firing people, building or closing plants, and adding or eliminating products or product lines. Finally, in step 7, the manager evaluates the results of their planning and execution. Things don't always turn out as planned. All managers should periodically assess the progress of their strategic decisions. In practice, managers engage in 3 types or levels of strategic planning. For any business, the corporate strategy answers the question, what business will we be in? Specifically, it identifies the portfolio of business that, in total, comprise the company and how businesses relate to each other. A diversification corporate strategy means that the firm will expand by adding new product lines. Here, product scope is wider. A vertical integration strategy means the firm expands by perhaps producing its own raw materials or selling its products directly. Thus, Apple opened its own Apple Store. With a consolidation strategy, the company reduces its size. With geographical expansion, the company grows by entering new territorial markets, for instance, by taking the business abroad. The competitive strategy identifies how to build and strengthen a business's competitive position in the marketplace. Managers build their competitive strategies around their business's competitive advantage. This means any factors that allow a company to differentiate its product or service from those of its competitors to increase market share. Managers typically adopt one or more of 3 standard competitive strategies: cost leadership, differentiation, or focus, to achieve competitive advantage. Cost leadership means becoming the low-cost leader in an industry. With the differentiation, the firm seeks to be unique in its industry along dimensions that are widely valued by buyers. Each department should operate within the framework of its business's competitive strategy. Functional strategies identify what each department must do to help the business accomplish its goals. Devising the company's overall strategic plan is a top management responsibility. Though no one knows more about the firm's competitive pressures, industry trends, and employee capabilities than department managers. Top managers then use this information to hammer out a strategic plan. Every company's human resource management policies and activities should make sense in terms of the firm's strategic aim. Strategic human resource management means formulating practices so the company needs to achieve its strategic aims. The basic idea of strategic human resource management is this. In formulating policies, the managers should formulate policies that produce the employee skills and behaviors that the company needs to achieve its strategic goals. The HR strategy is dynamic, not static. In other words, the manager should determine where each HR activity, like recruiting and so on, is now and where it should be in order to support the employer's strategic aim. The key to success is to think through how the manager is going to transform the various HR activities so that they align with and support the company's strategic priorities. In developing strategic plans, first the manager formulates the strategic plan with goals. Next, they ask, what employee skills and behaviors will we need to achieve these plans and goals? And finally, specifically, what recruitment, selection, training, and other HR policies and practices should we put into place so as to produce the required employee skills and behaviors? Managers often refer to their specific HR policies and practices as human resource strategies. Today's emphasis on sustainability has important consequences for human resource management. Strategic human resource management means having human resource policies and practices that produce the employee skills and behaviors that are necessary to achieve a company's strategic goals, and these often include sustainability. This means achieving financial performance while also achieving human sustainability, environmental sustainability, and talent sustainability. The bottom line is that HR practices can support a firm's sustainability and strategic goals. Managers use several tools to translate the company's strategic goals into HR policy. These tools include a strategy map, the HR scorecard, and the digital dashboard. The strategy map summarizes how each department's performance contributes to achieving the company's overall strategic goals. It helps the manager and each employee visualize and understand the role their department plays in achieving the company's strategic plan. Management gurus sometimes say that the map clarifies employees' line of sight. It does this by visually linking their efforts with the company's ultimate goals. Many employers quantify and computerize the strategy map's activities. The HR scorecard helps them do so. The HR scorecard refers to a process for assigning financial and non-financial goals or metrics to the human resource management related strategy map chain of activities required for achieving the company's strategic aims. A digital dashboard shows how the company is doing on all the metrics from the HR scorecard. Just measuring how one is doing, for instance in terms of employee productivity, is rarely enough for deciding what, if anything, to change. Instead, most managers want to know how they're doing in relation to something. Similarly, the manager may want to benchmark the results, compare high-performing companies' results to their own to understand what makes them better. The Society of Human Resource Management, known as SHRM's benchmarking service, enables employers to compare their own HR metrics with those of others. The employer can request benchmarking figures using their system. Benchmarking provides one perspective on how your organization's HR system is performing. It shows how your human resource management system's performance compares to the competition. However, it may not reveal the extent to which your firm's HR practices are supporting its strategic goals. If the strategy calls for doubling profits by improving customer service, to what extent are our new training practices helping to improve customer service? Managers use strategy-based metrics to answer such questions. Strategy-based metrics measure the activities that contribute to achieving strategic aims. Human resource managers often assess matters like employee turnover and safety via human resource audits. An HR audit is an analysis of the organization's HR functions. This generally involves using a checklist to review the company's human resource functions, recruiting, testing, training, and so on, as well as ensuring that the firm is adhering to regulations, laws, and company policy. The HR auditor may first review payroll data focusing on what and when each employee was paid. Then they'll turn to whether the human resource records are in order. They'll also review the employer's handbooks and policy. Employee engagement refers to being psychologically committed to one's job. Engaged employees experience a high level of connectivity with their work tasks and work hard to accomplish their task-related goals. Employee engagement is important because it drives performance and productivity. For example, based on a Gallup survey, business units with the highest levels of employee engagement have an 83% chance of performing above the company median. Those with the lowest employee engagement only have a 17% chance. The problem is that, depending on the study, only about 21 to 30% of employees nationally are engaged. Gallup distinguishes among engaged employees who work with a passion and feel a profound connection to their company, not engaged employees who are essentially checked out, and actively disengaged employees. The latter act on their unhappiness by undermining what their engaged coworkers are accomplishing. Gallup found that about 30% of employees were engaged. Managers improve employee engagement by taking concrete steps to do so. One important activity is providing supportive supervision. For example, a Gallup survey found that managers who focus their support and coaching on their employees' strengths can practically eliminate active disengagement. Other steps managers can take to foster engagement include making sure employees understand how their departments contribute to the company's success. Employees should also hold managers responsible for employee engagement. Firms like Gallup and Towers Watson offer employee engagement survey services. However, monitoring employee engagement needn't be complicated. With about 180,000 employees worldwide, the consulting firm Accenture uses a three-part shorthand method it calls say, stay, and strive. First, Accenture assesses how positively the employee speaks about the company and recommends it to others. Then, they look at who stays with the company and why. Finally, it looks at whether employees strive.